beauty queen, 18, reveals the cruel taunts and beatings she suffered from age 7 as she returns to modeling after finally triumphing over the bullies who tormented her. A beauty queen has chosen to stand up to her childhood bullies after more than a decade of abuse by returning to modeling in a bid to rebuild her confidence. For the first time in 2 years, Sonny Turner, 18, proudly took to the stage, finally putting her tormentors' words behind her. The teenager tries not to remember the hard years, where she was bullied, bashed and ridiculed from the moment she left her house or logged onto social media. Moving on hasn't been easy, and just last week the young woman stumbled, and ended up in a coma after taking too many sleeping pills. "I didn't want to die, I just wanted the mean voices to stop having to think about the things people were doing and why they were hurting me," she told Daily Mail Australia. She was in a coma for 4 days while her mother Sue Turner sat at her bedside desperately hoping she would wake up. Mrs. Turner said watching her daughter being torn down year after year has also left her feeling helpless. "We tried everything and we still can't help her. The only thing we didn't do is confront the bullies ourselves, but you just can't do that. They are children and we can't become the bully to defend our kids. I understand how parents do lash out." The 18-year-old model went from school to school, changing 10 times after she was first bullied aged 7. In one traumatic experience during primary school, a classmate who had been picking on her because of her different learning needs accused her of having a hunting knife. "I was called up in front of the classroom by the police and I didn't understand what was going on. The police and the teachers searched me in front of everyone and kept asking where the knife was. It was mortifying. I will never be able to forget it. Who would even bring a knife to school or make that up?" she said. Then in high school she was bashed unconscious at a local train station after a bully offered her a deal she couldn't refuse. "She thought I had done something that I hadn't, and said that if I let her punch me just once then she wouldn't be mean to me anymore. So I did, but she didn't stop punching, and then everyone joined in. I fell to the ground and don't remember the rest." Her mother does. She arrived to the train station to see dozens of teenagers in a giant circle. "It looked like a footy match, my husband and I thought what's that, and when we got closer we saw our daughter lying on the ground. She was being held down by a boy while other people stomped on her and kicked her. I just ran up to the boy holding her down and screamed at him. She was unconscious," she said. The abuse never stopped. It didn't matter what tactics the school or Turner family enforced. When the bullies grew bored of making nasty comments or pushing Ms. Turner around, they stole her bag. They would take it and throw it away, or take it when I was on the bus and throw it out of the window, then stop me from getting off at my stop so I would have to walk further to go get it, she said. The abuse has followed her into adulthood. "If I go out to the shops or something and they see me, it starts all over again. I have deleted most of my social media accounts and only have one Facebook. I only let my best friends on that and my family, and as soon as someone starts to be mean I block and delete them." Ms. Turner's on-stage debut was a bikini modeling competition in Western Sydney, where she wore a $3,000 Patricia J swimsuit. "I was nervous and it was pretty overwhelming at first, but I think I managed to loosen up by the second round. It was a great way to build up my confidence again, but I am really glad I got back into it." The young beauty took out the Miss Teen Global International pageant before she quit the circuit after being overwhelmed by school bullies. The bullies weren't a part of the pageant community, which has always made her feel safe and confident. She also quit full-time school in year 10, and finished her HSC with one-on-one class in a futile attempt to escape her tormentors. "If you are being bullied, stand tall and be strong. It breaks my heart every time I hear of a young boy or a young girl taking their own life because they couldn't fight anymore. It breaks my heart because I have been there. And make sure you tell your parents, my teachers didn't always help me out when I complained, but my mom and my dad always had my back." The young woman said she would love to be able to ask her past bullies why they picked on her. She would also like to ask the people who saw her being hurt who never helped or told anyone why they chose to be silent. "To me they are just as bad as the bullies. I would be screaming out for help and no one came," she said.